Welcome to this week's live stream where we are talking about our first impressions from the recently revealed cards from Crimson Haze. Crimson Haze is going to be our set here in May, so get ready for it. We are going to look at all the cards that were that I translated from Crimson Haze. We are also going to be looking at some of the cards that were revealed from Mask of Change, which is coming out and is going to be the rest of our Twilight Masquerade set. I can barely talk, so that's good. We're off to a great start. We're going to start with the trainer cards because that's going to give us context for a lot of these Pokemon. So we'll jump there first. And you guys want to start with Bugcatcher's Nest or Bugcatcher's Set?
Well, before we actually get into
Okay.
before we get into the actual thing, may I add Twilight Masquerade? Awesome set name. I love
It's
it.
a
pretty
great
awesome,
set
yeah.
name, yeah. Almost as great as Crimson Invasion.
What?
Oh my god.
I
Okay.
felt like dissing Crimson Invasion.
Invasion of the Red.
Okay. So a couple of these.
Not like that, damn it.
You can't say that.
Not like that. Jeez.
So a couple of these I personally have not even looked at. I guess I just missed a couple of reveals, but
Okay, so Bugcatcher's Set is first. Bugcatcher's Set says, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal up to 2 in any combination of grass Pokemon and basic grass energy you find there and put them into your deck. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck.
Deck or hand? You said into your,
Into your
deck,
hand, yes,
yeah.
sorry, I misspoke.
it's an item, right?
It is indeed an item.
Look at your
Ooh.
deck.
So it's kind of like a
Shuffle your
Pokegear.
deck.
It's like a Pokegear that gives you the option to pull in grass Pokemon and basic grass energy.
As long as we get some decent grass Pokemon eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Hi, Billy. Welcome to the stream. And then the second card here from this one's from Crimson Haze is called Caretaker. Caretaker says draw 2 cards. Then, if Community Center is in play, shuffle this Caretaker back into your deck.
Who wants to say it?
It sucks.
Oh.
Yeah,
Welcome to the Bold Podcast.
it really sucks. Okay, Carmine. I'm gonna let Caleb read this one out because I think he's very excited for this one.
If you go first, you may play this card during your first turn. Discard your hand and draw 5. Ryan knows why I'm excited about this card.
It is broken. This card's
Gee, I
ridiculous.
don't know if that would have made a difference today.
No, it doesn't matter if you don't go first.
I like this Lugia.
So Carmine is, to me, Carmine is a little bit of a scary card, actually, giving us this level of discard draw power on first turn going first.
With Lugia too.
Yeah, I know somebody was like, oh, you should be excited because you're getting, I think it was Lyle actually, we're like, oh, you get setup cards for your turn one going first. I'm like, no, I want setup cards, not draw cards.
Yeah.
I want search your deck for 2 Pokemon, put them on your bench, or stuff like that. I don't want this.
This is just an extra squawk, basically.
It is, and it's
Mhm.
really strong, and it's a little scary, especially when we have Luminion in format.
Well, I mean, also, think about how much Squawk helped, boost those decks that really needed that draw power first turn. And then on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, something like Ancient Box is going to adore this card.
Yeah, I
I-
was saying it earlier. I think this is what Ancient Box needs to be a tier 1 deck.
Yeah, it's scary. All
Or
right,
at least a Hydra too.
at least.
Leave
All
it
right,
there.
that was Carmine. Up next is Community Center. Community Center is a stadium card that says once during each player's turn, if that player played a support card from their hand, they may heal 10 damage from each of their Pokemon.
Man,
Didn't Tropical Beach do something like this?
no.
No, it
No.
isn't. This is
No.
more the one that everybody was in their
Champions Festival?
Champions Festival, yeah.
Oh, is that the one that's like you had a
Tropical
full field,
Beach?
you heal 10 from
Yeah,
your
Tropical
Pokemon?
Beach was the draw card.
That's I
Draw
knew it was
back
new. It was
draw
one of
back
those
up
like
to
world
7 your
cards.
turn ends.
Yeah, really broken card actually. But yeah, Community Center is very niche in my opinion. We'll see how it does. I feel like Guardy doesn't even want it because Guardy just rather run Hill if it's gonna run anything. So yeah, not ideal for Community Center. After Community Center, we have Cook, which is a reprint. We last saw Cook in Fusion Strike. Cook has seen basically no play, so I think it's fair to say that this card is not good.
W.
Yeah. After Cook, we have another card that I'm gonna let Caleb read out.
Woo! Enhanced Hammer. Yippee! Discard a special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. I like this against Lugia.
This is one of those screen. Thing is with Lugia, a lot of the cards it plays, it's kind of expecting to lose anyway.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at this logically. Enhanced Hammer, great card.
Very much so.
Always
Okay,
has been.
and this card, so it's better than Phantom Waves. But we've also had Phantom Waves in format for this entire time, and it's not really seen any play. So
Well, Phantom Waves did see some
like
play,
a single copy,
but not against Lugia. Really.
Yeah,
I just think because Lugia, well, for Phantom Waves didn't do anything against Lugia because
Yeah.
he's putting it back in the deck anyway.
Lugia
Yeah.
just gets it back out.
that's what I mean. Like it's
Discard.
this
Even
card.
even
have
with, even
special
with the
charge.
discard, yeah, even with the discard, I don't know if that's enough against Lugia.
Fine, lost so much. Wow.
I'm just
Yeah.
scared that we
Follow back.
just get Hammer control back. That's so dumb. I hate
Didn't
that
they
deck so
reprint
much.
Crushing Hammer too?
Crushing,
Crushing Hammer.
Crushing Hammer
wasn't-
hasn't left.
Yeah, it was
Crushing
in
Hammer
some
hasn't
letters.
left.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I'm gonna say
That's all I'm
movie.
saying. Having both hammers back is just.
It's so good. I love it.
Oh.
It's
Yeah,
awesome.
but that was never really a situation in the format.
Like black and white. I remember there are a lot of people that were playing hammer control.
That didn't
like-
mean it was overwhelming because
Yeah.
you still flip tails on all of them.
The last time any of the
How
Hammer
many times
cards
did
were
you flip
especially
tails
relevant
today?
Oh,
was back in the tag team era with Arceus Stallion and Pucky GX rather.
G-Star.
Might as well be. No,
That's the
well,
next archetype. That's the next
G-Star, a new thing.
mechanic.
No, seriously though, but it's because you had to do anything in your power to slow ADP down to prevent it from using its GX, or you just lose.
Hi.
Well, so maybe in the format. But I remember in that
Speaking of our
format.
next card, ADP.
In that format, a single energy attachment was very relevant, which is why Experience Share was such a great card back there as well. So maybe we're in a format that there's so much energy acceleration that a single energy attachment doesn't matter. So it doesn't really slow you down as much as it
I
could.
know, and I think that is probably part of it. I mean, the fact that Lugia right now is running 17 energy is it's just a lot. Up next, we'll look at the Hyper Aroma.
I mean, at least he won't prize it only 2.
Hyper Aroma is an A spec from Crimson Haze. It says, search your deck for up to 3 stage 1 Pokemon, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. I know you guys have some strong reactions to this card.
I'm honestly like, yay, but no.
I would collect it just to have it.
As someone who actively collects all the A specs, this makes me sad to have in my binder.
I mean, honestly, I feel like that there is a lot of stuff to do because I mean, you're getting the card. It's a jock without having to build your supporter, right?
Yeah, the problem is it's specifically stage 1.
If it was stage
Yeah.
1s and 2s,
Like if there was
Cool.
evolutions, right? Yeah.
even just stage 1
Yeah.
2s.
yeah, if it said stage 1, stage 2, I think it would be fine. But if it said evolution Pokemon,
Ooh. Yeah, if it was said evolution Pokemon, it would absolutely see play.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. So hear me out. Specifically, obviously, this instead of Master Ball for Lugia.
no,
No, I don't think
Lugia
so.
doesn't run it. Like the only stage 1s it runs are Cinccino.
Oh, that's right. Archeops is
stage
stage
two.
2.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's
help.
right.
And like the only other decks that Mike considers are like the existing stage 2 decks, which are Charizard and Gardevoir, and I don't think either one of them really cares enough.
You have
They
Mirage.
would rather
well,
run
Mirage
this over
rotates
something like
on.
Prime Catcher.
I mean,
So
maybe
this would be
Pokemon, so-
something maybe for the tier 3 decks or something like that that rely
Yeah.
on like stuff that's
Copper
running
Rush,
Metang or something like that. That really
I
wants
was
to
actually
get to it.
thinking more like Vikavolt.
Okay.
Like you get 3 of your charge bugs out. with this.
Copperage.
Copperage is good. I mean,
Yeah.
my Scizor.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? I do wonder though if like literally Prime Catcher would just be better. Up next is Kieran. Christian, I'll let you read this one out.
Okay. Kieran, choose one. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Okay. This is my reaction, by the way. During this turn, your Pokemon's attack do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon X or active Pokemon V before applying weakness resistance. Okay.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, anything that essentially is very versatile where you can use 2 different type of effects depending on what you need. In my opinion, it's great.
It's like the Tate and Liza, right?
Yeah, it's similar in
definitely
that
similar.
respect. You have the switching option, and then you have another option. This is like a hyper. This is like Tate and Liza.
With Kukui.
I was going to say Leon, but sure, let's get the professor involved.
And you know
Yeah,
what?
man.
It's refreshing to see that a newer card is still calling out the V, not just the X, because we still are going to have a whole new year with plenty of V's running around. So
Yeah, but we do only have one more year, right?
Mhm.
Because now we're going to be shifting here to the Brilliant Stars Onward format. So
I'm just saying, like, because a lot of the stuff, newer stuff, only calls out X's and like, okay, cool, it's very situational. This one remembers to bring in the B's.
I think it's when it acts toward their detriment that it calls out both.
I see. Yeah.
But when it benefits them, it's usually just the newer stuff.
I like it.
Yeah, I do too.
Kieran's a good card.
And I would also like to point out that unlike Carmine, I think this is a fair card.
Yeah, like
Carmine is a bit much. By the way, for the record, Carmine is a very good card. That's part of the problem.
Okay. Before we get to the next card, of all the characters you want to bring back from prior generations, why?
Why not?
I don't like Lana.
I do. She's actually a very popular character too.
That's why.
it should have been Gladian. Gladian's
Yes,
character.
Gladian's character. Sure.
What was Kiwawe? What was it?
Kiawe.
Kiawe, that's her name. Yeah.
So Lana's Care says put up to 3 in any combination of Pokemon that do not have a rule box and basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. So Pokemon EX, Pokemon V, etc. have rule boxes. So this is your Rescue Stretcher reprint.
As
Like a
supporter.
Clara,
As a
but
supporter, and it
a little
can't
bit
get-
more fair Clara.
It can't get the rule boxers either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
This
like
feels very niche.
it.
There could be some decks that are
It's
playing it.
just bad Clara.
Well, the thing is, Clara is really good.
If I'm still playing Spite Ops, I'm playing this.
Why?
It goes back to your hand, right?
Hey, you
And it has
yeah,
no
you
rule
can run
box.
Hyper Roam
Like
on
honestly,
spells.
but the biggest
But
problem.
Spinops has a rule box.
No, not Spite Ops himself. Spite Ops Venomon. Because honestly, the Tarantulas and the Venonats dying and then me running out of steam is one of the biggest problems I have late game.
When Clara did not do that for you?
No.
So
I mean,
how
to
is
be
this
fair,
gonna
he
do
could
it?
just grab 3 Pokemon as opposed to 2. Is I think what he's saying.
Yeah, Lana seems niche. Love Ball
Bulk.
is both. Let's read what it does first, though. Search your deck for a Pokemon with the same name as one of your opponent's Pokemon in play. Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck.
I misread this so bad. Your opponent's Pokemon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bulk.
Great in a mirror match.
Yeah.
I was saying, like, wait a minute. I thought it was like
If ever
something
we
that you.
get back to another Tier 0 format, maybe.
Because maybe I was reading like Friend Ball or something like, hey, you have the Pokemon that you already have and you get another one of them.
Yeah, in cases
No.
like that, it would be okay.
Yeah.
This
This is
not.
this is not okay.
No, unfortunately not. Up next, we have Lucian. Lucian says each player shuffles their hand and puts it on the bottom of their deck. If either player put any cards on the bottom of their deck in this way, each player flips a coin. If heads, that player that player draws 6 cards. If tails, they draw 3.
Can we run this in Eternal also and see how long it takes for somebody to mess up Rocket's admin, Iono, and
Elamar.
Oracle?
Run
that
that
and
and
Your win condition is 2 price penalties or what?
Yeah.
No, just game loss.
The game loss for shuffling your hand to that effect, yeah. It would be a game loss, actually.
It's just Ilma, but different.
It is. It's like the Elma versus, it's like Elima and...
I'm not around for
It's the
each
same
of
way that
those,
in is
and
different to Iono.
VS
That's
yeah,
a little bit different.
Seekers, just 4 Laprases.
Isn't it interesting that this is the first like card that's just titled Lucian? Like there were other Lucian cards, but they weren't just Lucian.
And we're getting a mixture like of when older characters are coming back. If they already have a named character, they get like
Bianca's Care.
exactly. And now we're also going back and making specifically Lucian or like name cards for
Like how
older
come there
characters.
wasn't a
So
Lucian?
Why doesn't Adler have a card?
Why doesn't Lenora have a
Who?
card?
Alder? Are you talking about Alder?
Sure.
Alder doesn't have a card, does he?
No.
That's
And neither
crazy.
does Lenora.
Okay, but
true.
Alder's a champion though.
Lenora's a gym leader.
Yeah, but there's plenty of other gym leaders that probably don't have it. Does Marlon have a card?
Lenora should be.
I think so.
Lenora
Does he
should
really?
be colorless.
At the very least, he's on art.
colorless.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because I'm collecting a like champion full arts, and there's a big hole right there.
The iris full art is so
Yeah,
pretty.
It's so nice.
Yeah, you're also missing the Cynthia one.
I'm doing Cynthia's ambition. I don't care.
Nope.
Okay, so that's Lucian. Let's look at Lucky Helmet. Lucky Helmet says if the Pokemon this card is attached to is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if it is knocked out, draw 2 cards. This is a reprint of a card from Ancient Origins.
I played in Raid.
It'll be as good as it was back then, and it was ran in one deck.
I'm picturing a poor little Pokemon.
I think that might be generous, actually.
And like Mario,
It
like
was
literally
random
like
best
jumping on it and drawing 2 cards every time he
I mean,
jumps on the
it
helmet.
won't now.
Just play this in Raid format.
No.
So Marlon, I think, is just an art. He's actually on himself. Okay, Ogre's Mask. Ogre's Mask is from Mask of Change. Ogre's Mask. You want to read that one, Ryan?
So Ogre's Mask is choose a Pokemon X in your discard pile that has Ogerpon in its name, and switch it with one of your Pokemon X in play that has Ogerpon in its name. Any attached cards, damage counters, special conditions, turns in play,
And any other effects.
and any other effects remain on this new Pokemon. The one that confused me was the turns in play.
So by that wording, you can swap the regular Ogerpon into an X.
No.
Pokemon X in play that has Ogerpon.
Oh, I missed the X in the first.
The first
one.
qualifier is Pokemon X.
So you're swapping one of the Ogerpon EX for Pokemon Ogerpon EX. You're swapping Ogerpon to Ogerpon EX.
I still feel like the only two good ones that I like is the, I mean, we'll get to them, but
we will.
Yeah.
the grass and fighting.
But here's the thing. Honestly, the switching mechanic has been a thing in the past, and it's usually been an ability. The fact that it's a trainer card to be able to switch.
There is this is similar to Thornton, but there's also an item card from Diamond Pearl, I think it was.
Mhm.
It was very similar to this.
Is
Yeah.
it the Arceus one?
Swoop teleporter, I think.
Oh no.
No, you're
Mm.
thinking.
Wasn't there an Arceus
Well,
one?
what I'm saying is like the mode change,
Arceus
right? I think Deoxys has had one
where
or something.
you can go grab an
Where-
Arceus from your deck.
Yeah, Arceus has a different one.
Which is the door, but the thing that basically does the whole swappity swap is Ultimate Zone. It swaps
Okay.
around all the energies between your Arceuses.
Yeah, like
and then
a
the
Stadium would have been better for
Omniscience
this.
And so the Omniscient Poke Power Arceus uses the attacks of all Arceus in play.
I just think that making it an item, obviously a 4-of, doesn't give you the flexibility that maybe they didn't want to make it that flexible, because there's Pokemon X's.
Give us
so.
Quaking Punch back.
Brain.
No.
I don't care how bad this card is going to be. I need all the full arts.
This is Perrin. Perrin says reveal up to 2 Pokemon
Right.
from your hand and put them into your deck. If you do, search your deck for up to that many Pokemon.
I will fight
Reveal
you.
them and put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. This is basically a double Pokemon communication as a supporter.
Okay, can I have this and leave you?
It's not
Right.
enough.
Bless you.
I don't understand why they made her so bad.
I know because she's like a, she's.
Well, look at the Mona.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, to be fair, they've been doing that to rivals for how
I mean,
long?
yeah.
Not for Marnie though.
I mean, to be fair, why would they?
See, I wouldn't know because I didn't play Sword
Okay,
and Shield.
here that you I think we've literally just cracked the code anyway. People are gonna buy the card regardless if it's good or not. So why
I-
would they make it good?
So then why did they make I no good?
I don't know. I'm sorry, but you I was gonna answer that.
Up next is Picnicker. Picnicker actually comes from Battle Academy, so this one may or may not make the set. But it's a very weak effect, so we'll go over it real quick. Flip a coin. If heads, draw 4 cards. If tails,
Be mad.
so there is no full art for it, so I doubt it.
Okay, good.
And then up next, we've talked about Ripert before. We're gonna go ahead and skip that.
Jason, you have things to say about this next card.
I'm so excited, by the way. This is my favorite.
Yeah, so BDSM cast. I mean, survival cast. If the Pokemon that the card's attached to has full HP and will be knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, that Pokemon is not knocked out and its remaining HP becomes 10. Then discard this card.
This is super strong, barring any lost vacuum. Like you're sure it's a freaking.
So this is Focus Sash, but
Yeah.
for any type is
Yeah.
what it is.
And it's not a coin flip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not.
Hey.
That's what makes
Just
it
don't
the
price
best. it's so good.
Well, it will see play. There's no denying it's going to see
Hey,
play.
you know what's going to happen? You're
Mhm.
going to throw out the Lost Vacuum in all your decks that you don't have it in already.
I mean, you're assuming I have any decks that I'm not running Lost Vacuum.
Yeah, okay, but it's survival cast. So I think it's good. I think it's going to see play. It is a choice though, and your deck needs to actually want to run this in the first place.
I mean, I see it with like big Pokemon that like literally, if you're trading and you're trying to keep up tempo, not being able to knock out your Pokemon, that's huge.
I mean, you're basically forcing them to guess
Who
around. it.
VMAX
Yeah.
had this?
Eternal?
Up next, nah.
No, you
horrible
don't run
Eternal.
3 players in Eternal.
Unless you're a Rapid Circle Shoe specifically. Unfair Stamp is the final ace spec that we're seeing so far from our Twilight Masquerade. It is from Crimson Haze. It says, you can play this card only if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck. Then you draw 5 cards and your opponent draws 2.
Play around it.
Keywording being your opponent's last turn, so you can't Fortress X it.
All I'm saying is play around it. If your win condition is not actually knocking out Pokemon, you don't need to worry about this card.
I mean, I think Stall and Control Archetypes will probably select the card, though.
I think Santiago's gonna cook something with this for Eternal.
Most likely. Yeah, I expect some stuff.
Sorry, Caleb.
Yep.
I'm running.
And then finally, before we wrap out into Pokemon, let's look at Boomerang Energy. Okay, Boomer. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides colorless energy. If this card is if this card is discarded by the effect of an attack used by the Pokemon this card is attached to, attach this card from your discard pile to that Pokemon after attacking.
What's relevant that's like would even use this?
Most likely Green Ninja you look at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there a fire energy that did the same thing?
Burning Energy, yep. Exactly the same. This provides colorless, that provided fire. This is burning energy, but for colorless Pokemon. Or for colorless energy costs.
Can I use it in Quack?
Yeah, probably. But Quack doesn't discard it though, right? Doesn't it bounce it to your hand?
Yeah.
It does. Yes, you're right.
It'd be funny. You could use it with Chenpao.
Yeah, but you're not discarding
I'm waiting for the rule calls when somebody's running Giratina V-Star with this thing. It's like Blossom is not a discard.
No, it's not. All right,
Yeah.
let's loop to the top here. Let's look at Tangela. Yippee!
You know that's not.
Well, one last comment. Boomerang Energy, underwhelming.
No, I think it's okay. I
You
think
think so?
it's gonna see some niche play. Yeah, I think so.
I was really expecting an Avatar reference from Jason.
Not what the okay boomerang said. I used the wrong joke.
Mhm.
Okay, so Tangela is an evolving Pokemon, so we'll look at Tangrowth instead. Tangrowth has the ability Jungle Body. This Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks after applying weakness and resistance. And then for 3 colors energy that loom over, 150 minus damage. This attack does 10 less damage for each damage card on this Pokemon.
It's the grass savior we were asking for.
Unfortunately- Unfortunately, this is not even
It's
good
actually
in
grass,
GLC.
colorless too. I just saw. I'm looking at the tiny part over here. It looks like 3 or half is 3 colorless. Rather, it's not though.
Hey guys, it works with heavy baton.
Can we? No. So yeah, this is not good. It's just bad. And then Pinsir has slow crunch. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. At the end of your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon is knocked out.
Or you could use Hisuian Zoroark and do it for no energy.
Wild, right? Oh, that's not a basic Pokemon, so there's that.
Yeah, but this needs 2 energy.
It's counter energy in Eternal.
That's how you can justify it. Play an Eternal. Even there, it's bad.
It's bad. And then super powered horns with 100 damage is bad. Spinarak exists. Ariados has the ability
I like
Big
that
Net.
art though.
Your opponent's active evolution Pokemon's retreat cost is colorless more. And then String Bind does 10 plus damage. This attack does 30 more damage for each colorless.
Just look at him.
Pokemon.
I don't know what you guys are looking at me for.
Hey, the Charizard killer. We found him.
Is it though? Is it?
No.
You got 4 of them on your field, maybe.
I think Big Net only affecting evolution Pokemon is bad.
I wish I could, like, if it didn't say evolution Pokemon, obviously, goes in there instead of Spidops and Spidops, Venomoth. But
I need this. I need this for the artwork.
it is less of a liability than a Spidops thing, so I don't see me replacing the Spidops.
No, the problem is this just doesn't affect basics.
No,
And there are a lot of basics in the format. So
Yeah.
there's
Just
not
build a
good-
Spidops Eternal deck and run both with Skyfield.
Jeez.
Skyfield's your answer for everything, you know
You
that?
have 8 retreat costs.
All right,
Dude,
so
he was even running Skyfield.
Leafeon from Crimson Haze, Leaflet Blessing. You may attach a basic grass energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. If you attach the energy to a Pokemon this way, heal all damage from that Pokemon.
Huh.
That's actually
Okay,
interesting.
it's a 1/1
If
just
only
to kind
they-
of mess around with it, but it's an evolution Pokemon. It's not worth it, but God, I wish it was.
If only I could
Yeah.
use this in GLC.
Why wouldn't you be able to?
Because you
Because
can't run
Eevee.
it and Eevee.
Oh, that's
'Cause
right.
Eevee's-
It pretty much-
It,
The
But-
only evolution you can run is the single strike Umbreon. And you have to mustard it out.
that's ridiculous.
Mhm.
Sorry, this is another reason I don't like GLC. All right, so Iron Leaves. Iron Leaves also exists from Crimson Haze. It has the attack recovery net. Put up to 2 Pokemon from your discard pile into your hand.
No.
And then Avenging Edge does 100 plus damage if any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon during their last turn. This attack does 60 more damage.
160, 160, 320. Why?
I mean,
Why?
It's just not good.
If it was 10 more damage.
I know. That's why I'm saying why.
It is a future Pokemon though. Do
Oh,
keep
yeah,
that in
it could be a
mind.
future.
You
feature.
put a
Booster Energy
capsule on it.
Capsule or Iron
Or
Crown.
Crown.
will also get
Oh,
you
that's right. A crown will get you there.
So
But
it's not actually that bad. It's just a weird attack cost.
it would be perfect as a one of in all
You-
its decks
you know
against
what would be-
Charizard if it had 10 more.
I would love to run this in 345 wide, but something else got banned.
What might that something else be?
Miraidon.
All right, let's talk about Poltergeist. Poltergeist has the ability Shadowy Concealment. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks, both yours and your opponent's.
Average day in Texas.
So it has a 30 HP vulnerability. This has basically got Bidoof's built-in ability, but it has 30 HP, and Seedblade exists, which is concerning.
Mr. Jirachi.
You also have an option of this other Poltergeist, which has the T-Treats attack for single grass energy. It says put a basic grass energy card from your discard pile into your hand, and then surprise attack gives you 30 damage, but you get to flip a coin, and if it get tails, you do no damage.
If you're
at all.
Yeah, the other one's
if you're
better.
Caleb, it does no damage.
Yeah, the other one's definitely better. And then we have Sinistcha. This one is a little interesting, at least. Sinistcha says for a single grass energy, you can do Cursed Drop. Put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. And then Spill the Tea for grass energy. Discard up to 3 basic grass energy cards from your Pokemon in play. This attack does 70 damage for each card you discard in this way.
That's a 210 for 1 grass energy, but needs to have.
Stage 1
Three.
and grass acceleration.
So I think actually it's fine. You just play it with Ogerpon.
Yeah.
Which Overpon?
The grass one.
Steel Mask. We'll look at it here.
Well,
in a
yeah,
minute.
I'm saying like I haven't really.
We'll
at
look
them,
at Steel Mask here in a second. But I think it's actually gonna work.
I mean, the DLC's been out.
Yeah. But speaking of that,
Sure.
let's look at Sinistcha EX. So it has the attack Reciprocity. For each basic grass energy card in your discard pile, put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon.
Jesus.
Then shuffle those cards into your deck. So you're discarding them with the other Sinistcha.
You honestly would know what this one reminds me of.
Mhm.
The Volcarona V. That
Yeah.
was in the Kyogre deck.
Or Victini
And you're
Prism Star.
recovering energy from your.
You're recovering all the energy that's been discarded. So you basically play this one with the other one to get the energy back into the deck. You play this as a 1 of and probably 4 of the other one.
That's decent.
I think it's decent, yeah.
Its HP is so low.
Are they finally
It
making
is
grass
low,
good
but you only need
again?
1, so.
Are they making grass good again?
Not
And
with
then
that.
for grass
Okay, we said
Pillars,
decent. We didn't say good.
grass pillars, you got Matcha Splash, 120 damage, heal 30 damage from each of your Pokemon. And that's something I do need to highlight just in case people did not catch on. All of the damage for Reciprocity go to the same Pokemon. You're not spreading them. So if you have 30 cards in the discard pile, they're all grass energy.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. But you're putting all that damage on one Pokemon. You're not spreading it around. So yeah, it's not awful. And then Teal Mask, Ogerpon, Mountain Stroll, subject for 2 basic energy cards, reveal them and put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck.
She's
And then Ogre Comeback, 20 plus damage. This deck does 20 more damage for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So
So,
kind of underwhelming.
yeah, not enough output.
Can't even KO Zard.
Alright, Teal Mask, Ogerpon EX. The ability is Teal Dance. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic grass energy card from your hand to this Pokemon. If you attach any energy to a Pokemon in this way, draw a card.
So acceleration, it's a basic acceleration is good.
Yeah.
That's
And then
don't worry
this
about
is going to help you get that Sinistcha up and powered up, so you're going to be doing that 210 damage, which is okay. And then Myriad Leaf Shower for Grass, does 30 plus damage. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to both active
it.
Pokemon.
Hear me out. Forrestress X. And
Oh. So you're gonna put a squishy 2-prizer in the active spot and blow up another 2-prizer.
Yeah.
Your opponent 4 easy prize cards.
yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Sure.
You know what? Let me pass to the PK without you having a stadium bump.
Path is dead. Path
Not
is
internal.
dead.
Not in Eternal.
And nobody plays in Eternal.
I know, 'cause
See,
it's
no
not even
play in Eternal.
relevant. It's
It doesn't,
not
it
even
doesn't affect
relevant.
enough. Alright, there's Ninetales. The Ninetales is bulk. Macargo EX has the attack Hot Magma for fire colorless. Does 70 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned.
I hope
And
it
then-
gets translated to Hot Mess.
Why would it be characterized as a hot mess?
Because we know it's gonna be translated to something that's not Hot Magma.
Yeah, they'll just make like purposely change it. Also, before we move on, art on Slugma, honestly, really cute.
And we have the attack Ground Burn for 2 fire and a colorless. It does 140 damage. Each player discards the top card of their deck. This attack does 140 more damage for each energy card.
Camerupt? The Camerupt we just saw?
It's similar to that, yes. The cool thing about this is you can play it in conjunction with Team Stargrunt,
Mm-hmm.
which takes an energy off of their Pokemon and puts it on the top of their deck. So you're basically not only disrupting their energy, you're also hurting them. So it's pretty cool.
I mean, 280 is a solid number to hit.
Yeah, it's not bad. 280 is okay. I think
It does 140 more for each energy discarded in this way. So if you can ensure you have an energy also,
Would
does that
switching cups be still in
Yeah,
format?
It's
gone, I think.
No, I think
That was Battle Styles, right?
I think it's gone.
It was
evolving. I think.
I was gonna say if we had switching cup and team.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna be a thing.
Oh,
I mean, what was that? 3, 420?
Ciphers.
Yeah, but then we
Yeah.
can't play Stargrunt, so
Oh, true.
just imagine that.
Well, you
running
get
out
an
for
energy
20.
either way.
you do. So you have options, but
I feel like there's something here and we're missing a card that might break it.
there is a Torkoal that has a attack for fire colorless called Ramming Shell. 30 to 30 damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks, and then does Fire Spin, do 110 damage. So not really anything to write home about. The art's cool though.
3, 4, 5?
Yeah, probably with Welder. Actually, no, probably not even then, because 110 damage is just not enough for the format. There's not really. I mean, you can use Muscle Band's not in the format either, even with wide. So I don't know. No, it wouldn't work.
Doesn't work with Heavy Baton.
And then there's Chimchar and Inferno, which evolve into Infernape.
Yeah.
Ryan, you want to read Infernape for us?
So Infernape, it has the ability Fire Dancing. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic fire energy, a basic fighting energy, or one of each from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. And then it has Scorching Fire for Fire colorless that deals 200 damage. Discard an energy from this Pokemon.
I really like
That's
that.
actually really insane that it's just discard energy versus discard all energy.
And
Yeah,
it's an
discard
accelerator
energy.
for other stuff as well. It's
Or
not just itself.
normally when
Yeah.
you see an energy accelerate like that and then a big number attack immediately after that, it's usually discard like 2 or all energy, not usually 1.
So is this one of the promos?
Maybe.
One of the
I could see this being one of the pre-release promos.
Yeah, I could see it. And then we have Chi-Yu, my favorite of the legendaries from this generation.
Murder
So
Fish.
sorry for that.
Murderfish. Allure is its first attack, which lets you draw 2 cards. And then Fire Colorless has Ground Melt, which does 60 plus damage. If a stadium is in play, this attack does 60 more damage. Then discard that stadium.
It's no Wo Chan.
This might be
This may see some niche play and decks that really need to get rid of a stadium
Yeah.
card.
the Infernape is actually going to be really good in GLC, actually,
Yeah.
being a fire
I see it.
accelerant.
Is Moltres is staying
Okay,
in format,
it-
right?
What was that?
Again, we no longer
Burning
fear.
Showdown? Yeah.
Charizard no longer fears Path to the Peak. So
No, it doesn't.
I mean, I would have said this, but again, rotating
Ooga
out.
All right. Up next is Hearth Flame Mask Ogre Pontiacs. Its first attack is Wrathful Hearth. For Fire Colorless. You do 20 times damage. This attack does 20 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon, which you don't have a whole lot of HP, so.
Nope.
And then Fire has Dynamic Blaze, 140 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon, This attack does 140 more damage and discard all energy from this Pokemon.
280. It's an evolution Pokemon. It's a basic. So it's a basic that outputs 280.
I mean, it's probably the better of the Ogerpon so far, and it does hit decent numbers, but that attack cost sucks. Yeah, that attack cost does suck. You can get there though. You have Magma Basin, you have a manual attachment. There's armors to switch energy in. Like you can get there. It's just a lot.
And if you're playing against Shinpao, you're also weak to it, so you probably wouldn't want to attack with it.
Yeah. And the problem is, even with Ogre's Mask, it's like, okay, well, I don't want this in play. Let me switch it into the grass one. Oh darn! I have three fire energy on it now. That's useful.
Do you foresee in the second half of the set maybe getting some sort of colorless or like multi energy or something like that?
Do they could, because Victini had an ace spec called Victory Piece, and it made all the energy attached to it rainbow.
Maybe they do something like that.
Oh, hi. So they could definitely
I
do that
miss
for
the
something like
scopes.
Ogerpon.
I meant the scopes.
You
Gen
want
sex
G
scopes.
booster back.
Well, that would work too. I mean, that would work too. Okay. There are definitely ways they could make these better. And I do think something like Victory Piece would be a good idea. I know some of the people that were listening to the Pokebeach podcast yesterday were thinking that maybe they would do like a triple rainbow. I think that's probably too much.
The Pokemon this card is attached to, his name is Ogerpon.
Well, okay,
Has
yeah,
Ogre
right.
Pond in its
Yeah.
name,
Like Ogrepon energy or something.
The Ogre energy.
Or like a stadium card that did the same thing as Victory Piece. That would work too.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was bringing that up to Jason earlier about there being an ace spec stadium. for Ogerpon.
He's trying to tell you guys that you talk too much during everybody else talking. All right. So up next we have Corphish, which is an evolving Pokemon into Crawdont. Crawdont is unfortunately not really anything to write home about. However, I do like the first attack name, Snip Snip. Does 40 damage. Flip 2 coins. For each head, discard a card of your opponent's deck, and then a Rampaging Hammer does 180 damage during your next turn. This Pokemon can attack. So
Me.
3.5.
exactly.
Quick question.
3.5. It might be interesting.
So going back a little second. So let's say, for example, we get a triple rainbow energy for Ogrepon.
Mhm.
Let it be one of the trio of Pokemon that each of their heads. Like he literally just went over and just grabbed each of their heads. And
That would
that's
be
the triple
very dark.
energy.
Up next, we have a Glaceon that has the attack Deep Chill. Does 30 damage at the end of your opponent's next turn. Put 9 damage counters on the defending Pokemon. And then for Water Colorless, Icicle Missile does 70 damage.
I'm assuming
I feel like
switching
it's-
out
I do like this.
the
I like this for release.
switching out no longer makes it a defending Pokemon, right? So
Right.
switching
So
I feel like it's been a while since we had an effect like that.
No, actually, this is pretty recent.
Really?
Yeah.
In what?
Let me find out. But
I feel like I don't see that effect very
Because
often.
I had it that wording.
very
I
good.
saw from
That's
the
very
card.
It's a bean.
Go ahead and keep going while I'm looking this up.
just a quick question. Is this the
Victory Bell. Victory Bell is the card.
What set is that from?
151.
Oh, wow.
is Fione is this how many cards does Fione have?
You know, actually quite a few.
Really? I don't know. Well, I'll read it. Fione, when colorless, put a supporter card from your discard pile into your hand.
Versus Secret Home.
And then, yeah, versus Secret Home. And then 1 water energy. Energy press, 20 times damage. This attack does 20 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Wait,
Hi,
So
Lugia.
bad.
wait. Weaker Starmie V?
Yeah, way weaker.
Yeah.
Because Starmie is all your opponent's Pokeball.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh, this is the active. Yeah. Oh my
specifically
god.
active.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
oh,
Go ahead.
nah, it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
So Froakie is our next one. Froakie is the first stage, or the basic rather, of the Greninja that we're looking at later. We're only going to highlight this one because it has Flock, which lets it find 2 other Froakies and put them on the bench. Yes, that. And then we have Cramorant from Crimson Haze. Cramorant has Water Gun, which does 20 damage. And then for 3 colorless energy, you have Spit Shot. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. Don't apply weakness or resistance for bench Pokemon.
I feel like somebody's gonna put this in their binder.
I do have a permanent collection, so yes, it will go into a binder.
It's an Okacheki.
I feel like this is the type of card to get like an alternate art.
This is the alternate art
it
in
got
a rating one.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I got one.
That one specifically?
That particular grammar got one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Honestly, look at it. Honestly, maybe I'm just a fan of this particular art style, but it's beautiful.
You talking about this particular card here?
Yeah.
No, it's a gorgeous card. I'm not like
Dude,
the illustration is really beautiful too. There's also Walking Wake. Walking Wake has Aurora Game, does 20 damage and heals 20 damage, and then Ripping Swell does 20 times damage. Put up 9 damage counters on this Pokemon. This attack does 20 damage for each damage counter placed in its way. So this is very similar to the Banette from Chilling Rain or Frostlass from Unified Minds.
Hey,
And you're just putting a bunch of damage on you and doing
you know how I
damage.
was trying to figure out a good single prize attacker?
In 3, 4, 5.
Palkia. Eternal.
Sure.
It's 180 your output,
Yeah,
right?
180 is okay.
Ripping swell is what I do after I have Taco Bell.
Mwah. Good night, everybody.
Alrighty then. Up next, we have Wellspring Mask Ogre Ponyax. Has the attack Sob for 20 damage. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. I'd like to point out, and I pointed this out on the Pokebeach podcast too. The attack Sob. They rendered it in Portuguese as Crymore.
It's such a base name.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great. And then it has the attack Torrential Pump. 100 damage. You may shuffle 3 energy attached to this Pokemon into your deck. If you do, this attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
So you're
Shuffle
hitting
3, shuffle in. Has some synergy with Chimpao.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't do like any attack with this one specifically. That was like, oh, this takes like X damage less for your opponent's next attack. Because in the VGC, the water is very defensive.
I mean, honestly, it feels like the numbers are like a little low, but maybe
That's
like
been Ogerpon across the board.
it's like a 10 or 20 more attack point or
Damage.
Damage would have really made this good. But again, I can see it being played in Chimpao just to like snipe, like when you can't get the Greninja on there.
And then there's a Zapdos, which is unfortunately not very good. Helioptile line, or Helios rather, is just not good either. We have a Morpeko from Crimson Haze with the ability Snack Search. Once during your turn, you may look at the top card of your deck. You may discard that card.
Okay,
I
hear me out. Macargo. You can check to see if it is a fire energy or
No,
not.
you could.
And if you see a fire energy there, you leave it right
if
where
you
it
don't, then
is.
you Well, we have had this ability in format before. There's a Sableye with the ability Excavate, which does exactly the same thing. It's on no play. So the likelihood that sees play seems also pretty low.
I think there's just a lot of cards that want to manipulate the top card of your deck in this format right now.
I want to ask about the Zapdos because it has a 10 in the
Yes.
attack name,
Mhm.
but you put Thunderbolt down here.
Because that's how it's translated.
That's so weird. Okay.
So all the Thunderbolts and stuff like that, they're just like in Pokemon, they're translated from like 100 volts, 10,000 volts, 100,000.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting.
It's the Thundershock, Thunderbolt, and then Thunder. I think is also part of that, right?
That's cool. I like that.
That's why if you hear like Ash in Japanese, he says something like 10,000 volts whenever he commands Pikachu to attack.
We have a Belly Bolt that is unfortunately also bulk. But we do have a very interesting Iron Thorns. Iron
Belly
Thorns
Bolt
has the ability Initialize. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot. Pokemon with a rule box in play have no abilities except any future Pokemon. Pokemon
It's all
EX,
Pokemon
Pokemon
play.
V, etc. have rule boxes.
Yeah,
It's all Pokemon in play, so yours too.
Yeah, all Pokemon with rule boxes.
but
No
you're ideally
shit.
playing Future Box or something.
Yeah, you're throwing this
Future
in the
deck.
future box.
Yeah, I mean, like you don't get any Radiant abilities or anything.
But
Yeah.
this is the new one that Charizard has to worry about, I think.
Yep, and it will be a problem for Charizard.
Mm-hmm.
it's
yeah.
better than
You put this in the Iron Hands deck and just go crazy.
Because, I mean, it literally kills the Pidgeot, kills Charizard. Stands there and says, no.
with an accent too.
Mhm.
And then it has Bolt Cyclone for 140. Moving energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench.
Try summoning star now.
Yeah. Oh god.
Then we have an
Such a
amazing
problem.
amazing art from Shinji Kanda for this Girafarig, which unfortunately is not especially good, but it's good art.
Also going in the binder.
And then Paragraph, which is similarly not good. It has the mid rumble because it's on a mid off for this attack. This attack does 40 damage for each stage 1 Pokemon you have in play. If you're very
They
desperate,
really like to push those stage 1 Pokemon decks, huh?
if you're
Hyper
desperate to
Room.
find a way to make use of that new aspect, that's the way to do it. We have Flabébé and Flo evolving into Florges. Florges has the ability Captivating Temptation. Once during your turn, you may flip a coin. If heads, switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. The new active Pokemon is now confused.
I like it. It's at stage
It's
2.
a
I don't
very-
like it.
It's a stage 2, but it's a very cool control card.
Mhm.
Maybe Sander will find a way to use it.
Isn't it funny how like the old break cards would give a little bit more HP, but Florges Break has 140 HP, and this Florges has 140 HP.
It's
So there's
called
no
power
change. It's just funny.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that.
Yeah, I mean it's really very much one of those cards that's going to see very niche play, but it would be very cool to see in action.
I mean, I'm just gathering all the control cards and then see what I can come up with.
He's got like a notepad out.
Up next we have the oh god why. It has Heart Sign for a single colorless energy. It does 30 damage, and then Psychic double colorless has the attack Love Resonance. If you have a Pokemon with the same type as one of your opponent's Pokemon in play, this attack does 120 more damage. So you could theoretically be doing 200 damage because it's 80 plus.
Me.
It's okay, I think.
Did you leave out the 80?
Yes,
and
the 80 plus needs to go there. I was noticing that when I was trying to read it. That's why it was throwing me off. But yeah, it's okay. I think is it Deoxys?
If you want to do 200 damage,
It's
play
just better.
Latios.
Yeah, that's also good too.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's that. And then Screamtail. Screamtail has Shriek. You can use an attack only if you go second, and only during your first turn. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any supporter cards from their hand.
The card's funny.
And then Crunch does 120 damage. Discard an energy from your opponent's active.
Oh, wanna
I
go
want
second so
I
can play
want
my
this to be
Artisan.
good so bad, but it'll slow
Angry-
your opponent down for sure, but
Angry Jigglypuff.
yeah, it just okay. And
This is the sort of card you have to run like Turo Scenario with, so you can pick it up after you use it.
Yeah, I wish this were a single prizer.
Yeah.
Honestly.
if this was a single price,
If it
would be
was a single
great.
price, that would be
If it were a
insane
single prizer, we would
card.
definitely see play. They would probably have to give it like a 2 retreat cost and drop the damage on Crunch, but I think it's decent still. Up next, speaking of a mid off,
The
we
disappointing
have
three.
Monkey Dory from Mask of Change. Has the ability Adrenaline Brain. If this Pokemon has any darkness energy attached, you may use this ability. Once during your turn, you may move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon.
It's an ability.
It is indeed an ability.
The sure are words of the English lexicon.
Yeah. And then it has Mind Bend for 60 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Literally, if I have maybe in certain decks, I'd run this over what's his face, Halucha, but you need to make sure you have damage on your own Pokemon.
I don't think it's good enough to see play. If it didn't have that darkness energy requirement, maybe. But because that darkness energy requirement, it just seems like a little much.
Yeah, you're right. It's very niche. Yeah.
You have to find a deck where it could fit. One
Yeah.
that already plays darkness
The
energy.
official name for these are the Loyal Three, right?
There's also another name for him. I'm trying to remember.
I mean, besides the Disappointing Three.
No, another official one. I know it's funny too because Water Pokemon Master uses it all the time. And I can't remember.
Monkey Dory. Serendipity. That one's such a stretch, I swear.
Okie dokie.
Okidogi. Okidogi and Monkey Dory feel very like they roll off the tongue. Serendipity is like they try too hard. Also, I'm curious, in Japan, were they transliterations as well, or?
I don't know.
kind of curious now.
Yeah,
Like, do they
Justin's
make-
saying
Do they make a pun?
he's-
They're also called the Lousy Three.
The
Yeah,
lousy? Oh well, I mean, at least they're true to their name with these cards.
Isn't that what
Yeah.
Carmine calls them, or Kieran, or one of them?
No, he
Clinton-
calls them the loyal.
So we
three.
have a comment. Clinton says, "Solid extender for Gardevoir." The problem is that you have to have a Darkness Energy to do that, and I don't see Gardevoir running a Darkness Energy just to make use of Monkey Dory.
Yeah, because you can't even put a reversal on it.
No, a reversal wouldn't do anything because it's not stage 2. It's not good enough. It's really not. We do have Pheasantipity here. Pheasantipity has the ability Adrenaline Pheromones. If any damage is done to this Pokemon by attacks, and this Pokemon has any Darkness Energy attached, flip a coin. If heads, prevent that damage. So
Just
it has the
keep
attack Energy
looking.
Feathers. 30 times damage. This attack does 30 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. This is just a worse version of Drifloon, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think this is very good either, unfortunately. Then we have Hisuian Growlithe and Hisuian Arcanine. Hisuian Arcanine has Proud Fangs, which does 30 plus damage. If your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on them, this attack does 90 more damage for no energy, which is pretty decent. But unfortunately, Searing Flame is not decent. It does 90 damage. That's it.
Yeah.
So
I like the art on the Growlithe.
the
So
art for both of them is pretty good.
Are we
Yeah.
gonna continue the trend? I guess that the Hisuians are the only ones with no energy attacks.
So Hisuian,
Usually,
Alolan too.
Like the regional forms typically don't have.
I mean, it gives them a very unique thing for them to be like, hey, regional forms.
Yeah.
So then we have Probopass that for 3 colorless energy has Assault Laser. It does 80 plus damage if your opponent's active Pokemon has a Pokemon tool card attached. It does 80 more damage, so you're doing 160. And then tack on a fighting energy on top of that, and you're doing 120%.
Yeah.
And then Greninja EX has the attack for 1 water energy.
Yeah.
Ninja Blade. Ninja Blade does 170 damage. You may search your deck for up a card. I need to fix that. Search your deck for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck.
So, in case, I'm gonna presume that you're going to build a list with this. If so, dibs. I want to make this work.
if any card in this set would get it, this card gets the award for the most overhyped thing I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sounds really good on paper. In practice, the attack being how you search it, they'll just Iono you next turn, or something will happen to that
Yeah.
card to go away. So it doesn't seem as big and as great as people are hyping it up to be. But I'm actually more excited about the second effect. The second
Interesting,
one.
and if I think Ninja Blade's actually still better at attacks. But we do have Water Barrage, Duplicate's Barrage for Water Double Colorless. Discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon.
So it's literally
Moonlight
Radiant
Shuriken.
Greninja. Yeah.
It's Moonlight Shuriken.
Yeah.
But it does 120 damage instead of 90. Problem is the attack cost is more awkward.
Water colorless versus water colorless. Or...
It's on a stage 2.
It's on a stage 2.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, of
It's on a
course.
stage 2 that you can't really Irida for. It's on the stage 2 that
Yeah,
just
of course.
isn't
So
it's a
not-
bad
not-
weakness.
Moonlight Shuriken 90 on a basic is infinitely better than 120 on a
I mean,
page
to be
2.
fair, Moonlight Shuriken on Greninja is ridiculous. That is way too strong. But at the same time, like, this is
I think
it feels like by the time you got a stage 2 out, it should be a little easier to do that much damage.
120 seems like a much better numbers when you're hitting like against one prizer decks. You know,
Well,
what I mean?
against 1 prizers, yes, but Ninja Blade is only doing 70. The 2-hit thing I think is great. I think it's good they're moving that direction. But Duplicate's Barrage just feels a little weird.
Well, yeah. So going back to Ninja Blade as well, very similar to Garchomp, 160. The biggest thing we were having, remember when we were playing Garchomp, we were saying like, oh, it's just not quite there. 170 for 1 energy is there. That's 340 with 2
No,
hit
the
character.
numbers for 2-hitting I think are good. I think Ninja Blade is what you're really leaning into. I think it's Duplicate's Barrage where you're like,
So what are we? It's like again, what is the card that you're getting? Hoping that you don't get Iono'd anyway. But
I
what
think-
is the card that you're getting?
I think it's not even necessarily that you're getting a card, because you'll get a card. Because that's not your focus. Your focus is doing damage for a single energy. That
Well,
I think is for
What? Yeah, 1 for 170. So again, maybe it. No, well, I was gonna say maybe in control, but I'm like, again, not really. You're not doing a stage 2 to attack and control.
My thing is, I just don't think it'll be any better than Garchomp was, because Garchomp had for your treat. This doesn't.
Very
no,
true.
it doesn't. Yeah, it has a 1 retreat cost, and it's not accelerating energy like Garchomp was.
It's
Yeah.
also 310, and it's weak to psychic. So
It has a bad weakness.
Psychic is a not great weakness to have.
Mhm.
Like
I mean,
ever.
Garchomp didn't have a good weakness either with electric.
No, and it's seen no success partly as a result.
Yeah.
Ting Lu is the next interesting card in this set. Ting Lu has the attack Ground Crack for 1 fighting. If a stadium is in play, this deck does 30 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon, then discard that stadium. Don't apply weakness and resistance for bench Pokemon.
I like that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
like it a
I
lot.
mean, it's very reliant on having stadium cards in play, but it's still pretty interesting.
But it's 30 spread all over, and it's a basic. It's something you can go in and be like, okay, put it down, single attachment, spread damage all over the place. Also, did we skip Kalucha?
Because it's bulk.
Oh.
Yeah, at some point we're just not going to go over the ones that are obviously bad. Yeah, it's just
Do I need to make Kalucha the shaman of this set?
it's not good.
No, it's not.
Up next is Okidogi. Okidogi has the ability Adrenaline Power. If this Pokemon has any darkness energy attached to it, it gets plus 100 HP, and its attack do 100 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. And then it has Good Punch for double fighting and does 70 damage.
Okay,
I
hold
punch real
on. So,
goodly.
so this one might be worth it. So if you use like a luminous energy on it, right? Can you essentially you're keeping the darkness requirement?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
Luminous
need
meets it because it provides every kind of energy.
Yeah. So in other words, you could do luminous and a basic, obviously, because you don't want to turn off luminous, and then do that for 170 and have 230 HP on a one pricer. I feel like there might be something there.
No, I think it's not bad. I think it's of the 3. I think it's probably the best one. 170 damage, having 230 to HP. It's not bad.
170. We just talked about 170 being 170, 170, 340.
And the attack cost, I think, for its single prize basic is fair. Like, it's not easy to fulfill, but it's fair.
Do we have anything that can easily accelerate?
We have the pick, and we have
Garchomp.
Garchomp.
Koraidon.
Actually, Garchomp might like this.
Yeah.
Koraidon can do it. There are a few ways to do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
actually,
it's not bad.
I agree. Garchomp probably would like that actually.
Then we have Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon EX. It has the ability Cornerstone Stance. Prevent all damage from attacks done to this Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon in play that have an ability.
That's really,
Which
Okay.
is not bad.
that's a really good.
And then it has for fighting colorless Demolished, 140 damage. This attack's damage is not affected by weakness or resistance, or by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon.
So
Shred.
So it blocks Charizard, it blocks Arceus V-Star, it blocks Miraidon, it blocks...
It blocks a lot.
Yeah.
And again, a basic.
Guardy.
So
It is a basic. I don't like the damage output. I wish it were 30 more. But it's not.
There's a lot left
Yeah,
to be
'cause it-
desired with all these Ogerpon.
Yeah, they're all like so close and yet so far.
Yeah.
and again, if they had the like additional ability to swap without the trainer card, I feel that like it would be like a toolbox deck, right? Like you're trying to.
Well, that's
Switch
the thing.
between
I think the trainer card is trying to make them a toolbox deck, and I think that will be very cool if that can get made to work. It just stands right now where it's just not good enough.
Yeah, these are the toolbox deck just doesn't work, but this one might see some play as like a stall mechanic.
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple of the Ogerpons are going to see play in a tech capacity in other decks. But
Justice
as
for
like
Fire
a-
Ogerpon.
Fire Ogerpon, and was it the Hearthstone,
Hearthstone is fire.
and then the Wellspring
Wellspring.
are both. I think they both will see niche play in their own decks. I think the Teal Mask one could theoretically see play in a Sinistra deck. This one could maybe be thrown into Garchomp or something for some interesting tech. But as their own decks together with that mask tool or mask item card, not
Yeah.
without another card revealed. We haven't
Their
seen that.
energy costs are way too specific for that.
That's the thing about it, is if they were all colorless, I could see
Or
okay,
near
maybe.
colorless.
Or,
Yeah.
but like it's like what was it? The fire one and the grass one both are all
They're
back
all
type.
fire.
Lending more to the
graphs, yeah.
conspiracy theory, triple rainbow.
Not triple rainbow. I think the
I think
good
it's
piece
a
idea is
combination.
probably more
Yeah.
likely. And then as an A spec, it would make it a lot more fair, which I think is good too.
I know we haven't pointed it out yet, but I love the little ogre pond in the background.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
every
It's
single one.
It's so cute.
And then here we have Applin and Diplin. Unfortunately, they're just not good.
They're silly.
They're silly. Eevee has Ascension, which I think is actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
Search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon, put it into your bench to evolve, or onto this Pokemon to evolve it. And shuffle your deck. Unfortunately, we don't have Energy Evolution in play. There is Resonant Evolution Eevee, which is also good. So you might do a split of these. Depending on any evolutions we get in the future, this one might be the preferred one.
This one I think foreshadows when we get X evolution.
I think
we're
so,
totally
too.
going to get
Mhm.
some at some point, and I think this is just like our foreshadow for that.
Yeah, this one and the Resonant Evolution Eevee are both very good.
Dude,
That's the one that's astral, right? It's astral radiance.
I think so. It's the one where if you evolve one of them, it evolves all of
It
them.
evolves.
Yeah.
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 so I mean, this one, oh wow. So like again, if you combine them both, right?
Well, no, it's because you have to evolve it from hand.
Yeah.
Ascension doesn't evolve from hand.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I
That
mean,
one's
with,
based on energy attachment.
with
right?
Ascension, you need some. You would. Sorry, Caleb. Your question?
Oh, I thought the astral one was based on energy attachment. Am I crazy?
No, it's based on when you evolve one of the other ones. It's like a
Yeah.
Oh.
Resonant Evolution, I think is the ability name.
So, the Ascension one, honestly, attacking to trigger it, it's only going to be really good if one of the new evolutions or possible new evolutions have some sort of field affecting effect that takes place during their turn, right?
Oh, okay.
Like,
So-
I was just reading the resonant.
like I'm saying, like because usually when you evolve and stuff like that, you want stuff that affects the field, or might as well just evolve them on your next turn.
yeah, and you evolve in those as possible. Because with Ascension, like let's say like they give Glaceon something that evolves Pokemon with Rule Box,
Mhm.
or it shields against those, right?
Yeah, exactly. That
You would want Ascension over something like Resonant Evolution
because you want
because
to
you want to be able to get out
go
there.
good effect.
Yeah. Because Resonant Evolution, you're still gonna have to wait the turn to evolve, whereas with this one, you're forcing it into play that turn, which is better. Snorlax has Refuel attached to an energy card from your hand to this Pokemon. If you do, heal 60 damage from this Pokemon, and then Heavy Impact for 5 energy. You're doing 160. This is just a bad card. And then
Or retreat cost.
Sure. And then Blood Moon Ursaluna EX has the the ability Veterans Technique. This Pokemon's Blood Moon attack costs colorless less. For each prize card your opponent has taken, hello Radiant Charizard at home. And then for 5 colorless energy, Blood Moon does 240 damage. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack.
260 HP is so much. That's crazy.
It is. It's a very interesting card, and is the trade-off that it's a is this better than Radiant Charizard? Is it worse than Radiant Charizard?
I think it's its own thing. I think it's actually good. It's just how good remains to be seen.
Because honestly, obviously the Radiant Charizard requires the fire. This one can go into everything.
Christian, just throw this in Fortress.
Yeah, KO Fortress only takes 3 to attack.
Hey, you're not wrong.
Or KO2 then.
KO2 Fortress. Now you
And
got
then attack
more
for
energy.
one.
So the biggest thing, one of the biggest reasons I like this card, it has 260 HP.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
a lot of HP.
Put a cape on it.
Yeah. The Hero's Cape,
Yeah.
360. That's a lot of goddamn HP.
Mm-hmm. It's 3.
And then, or even better yet, screw the Hero's Cape. Give it the BDSM thing.
I was going to say that right now.
Get it down to 10 HP, and then slap it with
Sharon's Care.
Sharon's Care or Bianca's Devotion.
Because it's the one that doesn't heal everything if
It
you're
fully
under.
heals the Pokemon if it has under 30 HP left.
Give it emergency
And
board and it's got free retreat.
Also would have free retreat. So I think it's pretty interesting. I think this is a deck. Do I think it's a tier 1 deck? We should.
No.
But
Is it gonna be a fun deck?
oh,
Yes.
it'll be a fun deck. It's up my alley. The stall thing. Oh heck yeah!
I want to play it.
I want to
Just
play
wait
it.
for the Max Potion reprint.
Yeah.
Why are we?
I mean, just put a bravery charm on it. It's got 310.
quick question. Scenario. What is Professor Churro's scenario?
It's AC. Pick it up. Put it in your hand. Discard everything attached.
So why are we messing around? Well, I mean, because the attachment, right? Like that's why we're healing instead of picking up.
Penny.
Penny,
Well, I mean,
you would play this with Penny and with the BSM thing, and probably a copy of.
you're not gonna stop calling it that, are you?
Because that's what it looks like.
I mean,
You
yeah.
would know.
What is
Survival cast, please.
Survival cast. Yes, for the record, that's what I mean. But yes, that is it so far from what we've seen out of Twilight Masquerade. We will see the rest of the cards for our set in about a month when Mask of Change becomes fully revealed. But as of now, that's what we've got. It's not an awful set so far, and we've seen just under half the set. So
Better than some sets.
it is better than some Obsidian Flames. That's true. Yeah. That's it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you got something out of this live stream. Hope you enjoyed our crazy antics while we were trying to review these cards and people talking over each other a little bit. But yeah. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next one.